before you get too disappointed in Columbina, keep in mind we don't have numbers on her charge attacks yet. And we don't know exactly how her charge attack interacts with the rest of her kit. So keep in mind that she might still be a very solid carry. Chat, Columbina's kit is like actually pretty straightforward. Okay, so let's go through that. Her normal attack talent is normal, except if you have Verdant Dew, you can use it to make her do. She can be Nefer basically, if she wants. She doesn't want to because no one wants to be Nefer, because she's cringe and also boring and also cringe. But she can. Next, calls upon the tides of the moon sea. I feel like that's kind of redundant. Like, as opposed to the tides of a sea that does not have its tides affected by the moon. Like, whatever, it's fine. When nearby party members trigger a lunar reaction or deal lunar reaction damage, Columbina gains New Moon's Omen for 2 seconds, accumulating 20 gravity every 2 seconds. Max gravity is 60. Gravity is removed when the ripple expires. When gravity reaches max, triggers tidal interference based on the most accumulated lunar reaction type. Basically, her skill deals hydro damage over time, and based on the reactions you've been triggering, it also deals damage of whatever reaction you've been triggering. Between Lunar Charge, Lunar Bloom, and Lunar Crystallize. Her burst increases the damage of lunar reaction damage. Yeah, increases the damage of lunar reactions. That's it. 20-second duration, 15-second cooldown is nice for rotations. Passives. When tidal interference triggers, which, again, tidal interference is, when she deals the lunar damage. How are you getting more than 2 stacks? Does the duration refresh every time you trigger it? Maybe. Whatever. She gets some crit rate from this. That's cool. Law of the Crescent. While inside burst, characters gain effects based on the trigger lunar reaction. For lunar charge, the storm clouds hit faster. For lunar bloom, you get that like second Verdant Dew that had been leaked a while ago. And for lunar crystallize, they have a chance to hit twice, but we don't know what the fuck lunar crystallize does really. So that's not very helpful for now. Honestly, none of these passives looks that impactful. I mean, the lunar crystallize passive looks like the most impactful one, but we don't fucking know what it does. So like, we can't really say that for sure. There's a description for lunar crystallize. Yeah, but we don't have damage numbers, so it's not very helpful. Moon Sign's Benediction. So Columbina does allow you to do all 3 of the lunar reactions, right? Lunar Charge, Lunar Bloom, and Lunar Crystallize. But unlike the dedicated supports and carries that increase the lunar reaction damage by 14% based on their stats, she is only 7, but to all of them. And we also already have the damage numbers for her skill. So we can't really say much about the crystallize thing because honestly, no clue. But we can look at the rest. So I've seen people say that this hits every 2 seconds. I think that probably makes sense. Like, I can believe that. Every 2 seconds, I think that makes sense. Supposedly, this hits every 2 seconds. And the other ones, it's going to be, like, one of them every... Wait, no, yeah. So this is every 2 seconds, the 15%. And then the lunar reaction damage is every 6 seconds. But it's only one of the 3. So let's go take a look at what that looks like. Yeah, that's that. Also, yeah, this is talent level 8 for some reason. Usually, talent level 9 is the... What's the increase from 8 to 9 usually? 114.3, 121.5, 6-ish%. 6. I'm not... why? But yeah, so... Base HP. Do we have base stats? Let's say 1400. Or 14,000, I mean. Okay, what team should we look at? Actually, she's an HP scaler, so it's probably higher. But whatever, 14,000 is fine. Let's look at a Flynn's team first. Nefer. We can look at Nefer as well, I guess. Okay, here's the thing, okay? Oh, I feel like she's not gonna be that good with Nefer because she's gonna steal Llama's buff from Nefer. So you're gonna have to hold D on Llama, right? But I guess you can because of the extra dues you get. Anyways, let's start with Flynn's, right? I just want to look at her personal damage first. So we do something like Flynn's, Inefa, Sucrose, right? And for the buffs, we'd have yeah. And I guess she'd have the new artifact set, right? Not yet, no. We'll look at that set later. For now, we focus on Columbina stuff. So 60 reaction damage, which honestly, I feel like is kind of dog shit. Like, that doesn't seem very good. That seems kind of ass, actually. Yeah, it might be a TOM angle. Anyways, so we'd have HP Sens, probably. Maybe substats. Do you guys expect HP Ascension? I expect crit Ascension, because there's nothing in our kit that, like, directly rewards building more HP. I guess there is something that directly rewards building more HP. You need to get to, what, 35,000? It's crit rate? Oh, do we know that for a fact? Oh, okay, bet. Would we even have anything else? Not really, right? Yeah, you're right. You would go HP Goblet. That's true. That's true, because you wouldn't have a reason to go Hydro Goblet. And you're getting enough external sources of reaction buffs that you're probably not interested in going EM either. Maybe you need ER, though. No, it's just a Fav angle, isn't it? Her Sig gives energy, right? Her Sig needs energy, so she's gonna need Fav. That's how yep. Or Proto Amber, sure. But that means you can probably get away with double HP main stat. Yeah, maybe you go Proto Amber because she's actually an HP scaler, huh? That makes sense, actually. Even with 2x5, you need 181 ER. Yeah, but 5 Codex is 45 directly, right? Like, it's not too bad. Anyways, EM, we would have 80 from substats, 120 from the set bonus, 80 from her own set, and then like about 110 average from Sucrose because she's not full uptime. Maybe a bit more than that. Maybe like 140 average from Sucrose. What else? Yeah, multiplier is gonna be 1.35, right? Because it's 14 twice and then 7 from herself. Times 6 times EM divided by 2,000 plus EM plus 1. And then we have 20% from the set bonuses of Sky and Serenade. 60% from her own set. Some amount from her burst. We don't know what it is yet. I think we'll just assume 50 for now. I think that's reasonable. Inefa EM. Inefa doesn't buff off-field characters. Why not SMS Columbina and new set on Inefa? I haven't done a calc. I'm currently doing my first calc. I don't know if her damage is good enough to go damage set or not. That's what we're looking at. Sus Leak said 40. We can do 40 then. Probably something like this. Crit value. So crit ascension. She gets crit from this, but I don't know if you can assume 3 stacks average. I guess it depends on how long the fights are. In Sigin, you should be able to. So I guess you could. Anyways, main stat, substats, passive. I think we'll look at Proto Amber for now. Proto Amber. Assuming that you don't need ER sands on Proto Amber. EHP Lunar Charge. So EHP would be total HP times crit multiplier, and we have no damage percent. But I guess I should have a damage percent 0 here. Times 1 plus damage percent. Am I dumb for not understanding how she converts to lunar reactions by herself? Converting to lunar reactions isn't like something that needs any specific effect. It's just when you trigger the reaction, it does the lunar one instead. Right, when you have Inefa on the team, you don't even need to switch to Inefa for your like to become unable to trigger normal electro charge. Anyways, times EM multiplier. Motion value HP, motion value HP, lunar charge. Okay. So supposedly 26.8. And we'll say that it gets increased by 6% to talent level 9. Plus 15 times in a 16-second rotation. Would do this. And then 106% times 8.88 times 3 times 8, right? Her skill cooldown is 17, is it? Oh, that makes sense. So I guess we did an 18-second rotation instead. Keep things simple. I don't like looking at odd numbers for rotation length for this kind of shit. Apparently her lunar charge doesn't get the times 3. Wait, really? Are you sure? Because the lunar charge number looks much lower than the other two. So, yeah, I feel like you're spreading misinformation right now. Anyways, maybe you're right. Shit, maybe you're right, actually. What the fuck is this? Yeah, okay, I think you might have been right, actually. Oh, no, chat, I'm an idiot. I'm a complete idiot. This isn't times 9, it's times 3. It doesn't happen every 2 seconds, it's every 6 seconds. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I mean, that's a lot. But it's not like a game-breaking amount. Yeah, like, although you are also getting a little bit more damage from the lunar charge reaction itself, triggering more often. Okay. What about in an Nefer team? So, Nefer, Llama. Who would be the last slot in a Nefer team? Nahida? I feel like Nahida's kind of dumb. Because, like, the main thing Columbina provides is personal damage herself, and Nahida's whole purpose is buffing only the active character. Like, bench that fraud and put the Sucrose in the bag. Sucrose's EM buff is team-wide. You could do Inefa. Inefa probably pops off, yeah. But let's do Sucrose for now. Yeah, honestly, it could just straight up be a second Hydro if Columbina's ER requirements are a problem. Doesn't she also reduce Inefa Thundercloud interval? Only the Thundercloud itself, not Inefa Brigida interval. But this team doesn't do that much, or this team doesn't really get any Thundercloud damage. Anyways, so we still have this, yeah. Our amount of EM, instead of Flynn's Inefa, we have Nefer Llama. So it should basically be the same. We'll have full uptime on Surgos in this team, though. Sustainless Nefer. Well, first of all, right now we're assuming Columbina herself is wearing Proto Amber because we don't know what her ER requirements look like. But second of all, that's 4 catalysts. You know, if 1 Proto Amber isn't enough, go 2 Proto Ambers. If 2 Proto Ambers isn't enough, go 3 Proto Ambers. Anyways, Grit multiplier Lunar Bloom is gonna be equal to this plus 40 squared divided by 8 plus 1. Wait, chat. I'm gonna be so for real. I feel like this is gonna be a lot better. I also need to have EHP or proc llama. Number llama. Damage llama. Okay. A llama proc is 400% of her EM. Her EM is gonna be like, I don't know, 1300, 1200 in this team. Whatever. Times crit multiplier. And we get a total of 15. This is, what, 3.2? 3.2 times 3 times 5. And then number llama. 15. It's just 15. Yeah. Our shred here is 35, right? No. 55. So 25. No. 225. Yeah. Yeah. So her personal damage in that team would be a decent amount higher. Because this is a team that allows Llama to hold E, and you get to consume more Llama Quills, right? Without the Llama Quills, her personal damage is a lot lower. Like, that's a massive difference. Oops. You had Llama Quills for Beta? Yeah. Because Columbina's passive will allow you to hold E on Llama and still have enough do for Nefer. Because you get three extra dues per rotation. And you can use the three extra dues to hold E on Llama. And that hold E on Llama gives you 18 more quills of her passive. Which is a massive deal, right? We sure it's 3 extra and not 3 instead? Well, the special do that she has does not do anything. It is not described to have any property different from normal Verdant do. So it wouldn't make any sense for it to replace normal Verdant dues. You're gonna have to extend Nefer's rotation because the 3 extra dues only once every 18 seconds. Nefer rotations, like, forcing Nefer into 18-second rotations isn't that much of a problem anyways. Part of why she can do slightly lower rotations now is because I know has low field time requirement, and obviously Columbina will have higher field time requirements. But, yeah. I mean, honestly, like, I'm gonna be fully honest with you guys. This isn't even that good. Like, it's really good, but it's not even that good. Because, like, what makes it good isn't that it's good. It's that right now what we have is really bad, but the stuff that's been released was balanced to already be really fucking strong with Aino. So when we get... Like, think of it this way, okay? Llama and Inefa are Farazan, and Columbina is, like, an Animo carry that doesn't suck some massive fucking balls. Like, Columbina's teams will be very powerful, but I don't think that the balance outlier in those teams is Columbina. I think the balance outlier is Llama. Because I don't even know if without Llama, the Nefer Columbina team breaks 100k. Casting skill immediately triggers 1 instance of lunar damage, up to once every 15 seconds. When the lunar damage is triggered, it has a bonus effect. If it's lunar charge, it restores 6 energy for the active character. Huh. This is actually kind of nice. For the Inefa haters in chat, this is a way for Flins to obtain energy without necessarily needing a second electro battery. So that's kind of nice. Lunar Bloom, increase active characters' interruption resistance. That's kind of funny. I feel like that kind of sucks, though. Lunar Crystallize. You get a shield. Oh! Okay. Additionally, nearby party members' lunar reaction damage increased by 3%. This has to be wrong. This is going to be 3% per something. This is not 3% reaction damage increase. Oh, is it 3 per? Okay, never mind. I see. It's just 3 on all of them. Never mind. Okay. That's kind of weird, but okay. Okay, C2. Gravity accumulation speed plus 34%. So, basically you'll get 4 per 18-second rotations instead of 3, right? When tidal interference triggers, Columbina gains 30% HP for 8 seconds, and during those 8 seconds, Lunar Charge increases the active character's attack by 0.7% of Columbina's max HP. What? Huh. Okay. So it's like 2 to 300 attack. Increase character's EM by like 1 to 150. And defense by also 2 to 300. Okay. C4. When tidal interference triggers, so when the lunar hit damage hits, Columbina restores energy. Also increases the damage of your tidal interference. The lunar reaction... That doubles... That's more than double, is it not? That goes from 8.8 and you gain plus 12.5? I'm sorry, what? Oh! Can occur once every 15 seconds. Okay, I was like, holy shit, man. What the fuck? Okay. I was like, huh. Okay. So basically, this is yet another equivalent of like +1 tidal hit, right? And then C6, while inside Moonlit Domain, after triggering a lunar reaction, for 8 seconds, increase crit damage of the corresponding elemental damage for all party members, and 5 elevation. Okay. So basically, each of her cons is like +1 lunar hit, right? Like that's basically what all the cons are. And then plus a little bit of extra stuff, right? Because C1 gives you +1 hit when you cast skill. C2 gives you +1 hit from the fact that the hits happen a little bit faster. C4 gives you +1 hit from the fact that the first hit each rotation does about double damage. And then the C6 is different. It just increases crit damage. Alright. It's like... They're kind of weird constellations, because it's like... Columbina's purpose in her teams is very split between being a personal damage dealer and a buffer. And I feel like pretty much all of her constellations are intended to reinforce both aspects of her kit. So none of them is going to look that impressive, because they're all reinforcing both her personal damage and her support aspect. Right? But that doesn't mean she has bad constellations. Like, I don't think these are bad cons. I think they're very 2025, you know? But yeah, whether or not she'll be good as a carry is going to be entirely dependent on how good her charge attack scaling is. Interruption res is bad. I mean, yeah, I'd say that's probably the only bad one here, right? The interruption res for Dendro characters is kind of ass. But it's not like the C1 doesn't do anything, right? Like, the C1 does give her a lot more personal DPS. And you get the elevation as well, right? Which I didn't include. But yeah, for the Nefertine specifically, it's probably not as good as like Sig or something. 20 hits will all be buffed by Llama? I know. That's why I did 18, not 15.